Dear Venerable Friends in the Dharma, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tammy from Academy of Wisdom and Enlightenment, AWE for short. Thank you for listening to my talk. The topic I'm going to present today is how to transcend duality. Where are the teachings for transcending duality? In Buddhism, the Tripitaka volumes are huge. So,
where do I begin? Where do I start?
Fortunately, the teaching for transcending duality can be found in the following sutra. Lankavatara Sutra, School Number 1, Chapter 1, Section 1. The title is Lecture on the Heart by All Tathagata. Can it be more obvious? Transcend duality is the first thing that we have to learn. All Tathagata will teach this transcending duality in the same way. It also appears in the final chapter of the Sixth Patriot Platform Sutra. The Sixth Patriot taught his closest disciples how to teach the Chinese Zen tradition properly. This is his final words before he passed away. This is how important transcending duality is to him. Now we look at the Avatasanga Sutra. It appears in two places. First time, it appeared in Enter the Dharma Realm, Section 12. I will go into much detail in the rest of my presentation about this teaching module. The second time it appeared in Scroll Number 45, a Samkhya article, Chapter 30. The Tathagata's instruction for the Bodhisattva ruler of hearts. This title means anyone who wants to learn how to conquer one's own heart must learn this instruction. What is a Samkhya? A Samkhya means eon and eons of time. It means that this is what the Tathagata will teach for all time. The first point referred to space dimension. The last point refers to time dimensions. Together, this means all Tathagata teach transcend duality throughout all space-time. This is how important the teaching is.
Let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. When you read, you begin with A, B, C. When you sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi.
Now we know where to start. Let's all start together from the very beginning as newborns. Sentient beings are born to develop duality concepts. All of us recognize our existence using duality thinking mode. We know light from dark and vice versa. If we haven't been happy, we don't know what sadness means and vice versa. So, duality is in every aspect in our life. Even the Six Patriots listed a total of 36 such duality pairs in the final chapter of the Platform Sutra. But then, there are disadvantages of duality thinking mode. Because habitually, we will look at everything as opposite, mutually exclusive, conflict, fragmentation, and so on. That is why the world is the way it is today, full of conflicts. But we can see in the sutra, all the enlightened beings are able to transcend dualities. They look at everything holistically instead of being fragmented. In order to be holistic, one must have an open mind. Therefore, open mind is the key. If these teachings are so important, why are they not popular? Well, without the prerequisites, the Tathagata teachings are too profound to grasp. The sutra put open the mind and transcending duality together, and that is why it is difficult to understand. The key is you have to open your mind first before transcending duality later. Therefore, AWE fill in the gap by introducing the missing prerequisites prior to the Avatasanga Sutra module. Those in blue are the 3 missing links. The first one that AWE introduced is the Childhood Development module. This module is best to explain how the formation of numerical concept parallels intellectual maturation from baby to adult. From not knowing what the number really means to be able to solve complex mathematics as we grow up. From the first module, we learn these important points for intellectual maturation. Intelligence involves conceptual maturation from qualitative to semi-quantitative to quantitative. So, instead of just black and white, we can see gray color in between until we only see different shades of gray. Numbers are just numbers, no matter how simple or how complicated. Mathematics, no matter how complex it seems, you can learn it if you choose to. The second module is the 10 to the power n plus 1. This module is best to illustrate thinking boxes. We simply add 1 0 at a time to the number, step by step, following a simple logic to increase the values. If we keep on doing that, we can count up to very large numbers without any problems. The problem arises when most people do not have the large number concept. They don't have the patience, they lack concentrations, or simply don't want to get out of their thinking boxes. Then they introduce the term infinity. Please note, it takes 7 operations before one must confront one's own thinking box. Here is the thinking box. By understanding the thinking box concepts, we learn that the 10 to the power n plus 1 series is a logical progression that has no end. To stop the progression by suddenly introducing the concept of infinity at any step is entirely illogical. By this logic, the entire concept of infinity is invalid. The infinity thinking box can be anywhere depending on the individual. For example, if my thinking box is trillions, any number bigger than trillion, I will treat it as infinity. The next module is 10 square module. This module is best to open up the mind. By squaring the number 10, the number increases rapidly and forcing the mind to confront its own thinking box quickly. We use this example to connect the previous module and the Avatasanga Sutra module in the next slide. Please notice, it only takes 3 operations before one must confront one's own thinking box. Here is the Avatasanga Sutra module. In the sutra, it started with the number Koti, which is 10 million and has 8 digits. It starts squaring each number. Your thinking box has to be big enough to understand this concept from the sutra. The first column designates every square step. The second column provides the unit of measurement for that product. The third column quantifies each infinitesimal number. To save time, I will skip from operation step 8 right away to operation 97. Look, from the operation 98 onwards, all the unit names imply something that is not measurable. So, can you see the irony? The irony is that the sutra deliberately use incalculable names to measure calculable numbers. That is the wisdom of the sutra. This is duality. The wisdom of the sutra forcing the mind to confront duality. The mathematic logics and expansion of mindset. That is how we transcend finite and infinite. Finite is measurable, therefore has a unit. Infinite is immeasurable, therefore no unit. By introducing additional units to measure large numbers, the immeasurable become measurable. Abstract concepts such as infinity can be quantified by introducing new units of measurement. The words in blue are duality pair. That is how we break through duality. Finite and infinite are opposites by definition only. The word in red are duality pair. Now we know opposites are just products of small mindsets. When X is inside the box, Y is outside the box, they are opposites. If there's no box, no opposite. That's what we call think outside the box. So notice, the Avatamsaka Sutra is no different from the Zen teaching. When we are doing the exercise, we find this from the students. Emotional, resistant to accomplish a task. Ego resistant to Tathagata teaching. Visualize that infinity is a concept created by the closed mind or limited thinking box. Focus, concentration, attention span are needed to count up to large numbers. Life force, high energy are required to understand the wisdom from the sutra. Therefore, the teaching of the Avatamsaka school and the Chinese Zen school can be harmonized and unified. In summary, this is what we call turning the Dharma wheel forward, to extract the wisdom from the sutra and elucidate the teaching using modern languages and methods. Number 1, how to open our mind? By using large numbers. Number 2, from qualified to quantify, from uncountable to countable. Number 3, how to transcend duality by understanding finite and infinite. Number 4, resolve opposites and conflicts. All we need is holistic will. Number 5, attain equanimity by going from relative to absolute. By understanding that finite and infinite is just about measurement. Yes and no is only a choice. Black and white is just a color. Happy and sad is about emotion. In conclusion, How to Transcend Duality is AWE's third lecture in Year 1 University curriculum. This talk subscribed to 2 conference sub-themes. Number 1, Buddhist Education and University Level Curriculum. Here, the profound wisdom of Buddhist education is shining a bright light on number 2, Peace Building and Post-Conflict Recovery. Just imagine if all politicians have learned this transcend duality skill. The conflict in this world will be much resolved. This is how Buddhist education contributes to world peace and conflict resolution. Thank you for your attention.